Now, before I tell you about the Exeter book and the Anglo-Saxons who wrote it, let me explain how this project came about. Because it wouldn't have happened without friends and the encouragement of friends. It was a true collaboration. So one girls' night with Monica and Bethany, who you will see later performing, we started hyping each other up, saying how talented we all are. No, you're talented. No, you're so talented. And wouldn't it be great if we performed a piece together? I'll compose something for us, I blurted out, even though I had only composed one other song to this point, and certainly nothing for flute or mezzo. But in that moment, because of them, I had forgotten to doubt myself. They were immediately thrilled and said they couldn't wait. I thought a lot about what text to use. It needed to be something where a flute would really make sense, because Monica plays the flute. I looked at a lot of poems, but I didn't want any copyright issues, having recently run into that with my libretto for Undine Gate. Then, one day, my eye landed on the word exchange, Anglo-Saxon poems and translation. Anglo-Saxon poetry will definitely be safe from copyright issues, I thought, and started rereading the whole collection. Almost immediately, I landed on Riddle 8, which is clearly about a bird, though scholars argue about which exact species. I liked this option because I thought it would be fun to represent the bird with the flute. Now that I had settled on a text, it was time to start composing. My friend Keith, whose work you will hear later tonight, guided me through this process. He helped me see the piece as not just a collection of individual notes and rhythms, but as a bigger picture of shape and structure, textures and moods. Then, an amazing thing happened. You might say magical, transformative. Armstrong Community Music School, where I work and teach piano, got wind of the project and asked if we would like to be featured in their first ever faculty showcase. Now the project was real. I didn't just have my own friends believing in me, I had the endorsement of my employers as well, all accomplished musicians whom I look up to. I was on cloud 9 the day of the performance. But the day after an event like this is like the day after Christmas. Half the fun is in the anticipation and excitement. Afterward, you can feel a bit empty with nothing immediate on the horizon to look forward to. But then, Keith said to me, "So what are you writing next? Are there any more interesting riddles from that collection?" Two things to note here: Keith's expectation, not inquiry, that I would be writing more music, and the invitation to dive into the riddles again. This was very exciting. As I talked to him more about the riddles and showed them to him, he became as excited as I was, and that's when the idea for the Riddle Recitals was formed. Soon enough, we got Ben on board as well. I was so happy that I was able to convince them both to do this with me. But how should we produce it? Our original plan was to pay the musicians out of our own pockets and ask Armstrong to help us promote it. But then, another amazing, magical, transformative thing happened. Lola offered to produce it. So, as you see, this project has been a magical collaborative process from start to finish. I can't help but marvel at how transformative collaboration is. If you had asked me before if I ever thought I would be a composer, I would have laughed and said no way could I ever do that. So here's a riddle for you. What started as girl dinner and transformed into a concert of original music? Answer: the uncovering of a hidden path I hadn't been able to see before. So transformation, change, metamorphosis, this to me is the heart of the Exeter book Riddles. As different and varied as the riddles are, the theme of transformation runs through all of them. But let me back up for a minute and explain what the Exeter book even is, because it is a fascinating volume in and of itself. The Exeter book is a collection of poetry in Exeter, England, dating from between, they think, 960 and around 980 CE, Common Era. So at that time it was Old English, a different language that our modern English evolved from. With almost 100 riddles interspersed among longer poems, it is one of the largest volumes of Old English poetry surviving today. Unlike other similar volumes from this period, the Exeter book did not include the riddle solutions, and arguing about the intended solutions has become a topic for scholars to this day. The riddle subjects in the Exeter book run the gamut from the natural world to man-made tools to philosophy and more, much, much more. But each subject becomes transformed through a metaphor. The metaphor allows the subject to be described accurately, yet out of context, so that something familiar like a bow or a sword becomes a wonder or a marvelous creature. While everyday objects are obscured, the strangeness of existence comes into focus. To give you an example of what I mean by all this talk about metaphors and transformation, here's one version of the classic riddle I'll call White Field, Black Seed. White is the field, black is the seed, the one who sows it is knowledgeable indeed. At first blush, words like field, seed, and sow appear to reference farming, but the mismatch of the words white, black, and knowledge clue us in. Farming is being used as a metaphor. What we are really talking about is, any guesses? Yes?
Writer.
Writing. Someone said it, yes. And reading is a very close answer. Yeah, this is a very smart audience. So this is the writing riddle. You'll hear a distant variation, like kind of a cousin of this one tonight. So in this riddle, writing is transformed into farming, and the crux of the riddle lies in that metaphor. To me, this is the heart of a riddle, an object or idea described as if it were something else, becomes transformed so drastically that you can't help but marvel that you had ever taken it for granted. So here's another example of a common thing turned into a wonder through riddle metaphor. This is riddle 69. I'll try to do the Old English. It's only one line. Wonder with on wea, laughter with Tobana. And here is Megan Cavill's translation. There was a wonder on the wave, water turned to bone. I have a smart audience. Any guesses? Ice. Yeah, good. So this is another variation of a riddle type that you'll hear later tonight. Ice feels like such an everyday thing to us, and yet it really is a wonder when you stop to think about it. What was once liquid is now solid. That's very strange. So many of the Exeter riddles deal with the process of making a physical object, which is a kind of transformation in its own right. For example, riddle 26 about a Bible is spoken from the point of view of the animal who was killed to make the vellum, and the vellum making process is then described in detail. Take a listen to Jane Hirschfield's translation. Some enemy took my life, stripped me of my world's strength, doused me and drowned me in water, then lifted me dry and set me in sun, where I swiftly lost what hair I had left. A knife edge cut me then hard, scraped from me every remnant of what I was. It's very dramatic, isn't it? The riddle goes on to describe the rest of the book-making process. The feather used to make tracks on the pages is transformed into a bird's joy, and the person who binds and gilds the book is transformed from a scribe to a hero. I love this riddle because hearing the animal's narration from start to finish lays bare the drama of processing organic materials into tools and instruments for human use. Something had to die in order for us to have this book, like in this Bible that the poem is talking about. Our modern consumerist society sets us up to take for granted our access to things. It seems pre-industrial societies valued the skills of transforming materials into tools, and art, I think too, very highly. In our post-industrial society, we have a different relationship to things. That's just the way it is. But I liked being reminded of the effort it takes to make the things we have. So I love the Exeter riddles because of the unexpected way they transform the world around us. When every object becomes a wonder and a marvel, life feels a lot more exciting and fun. And now, I hope you will enjoy our attempt at transforming these poems, these riddles, these wonders, into music for you. So thank you for indulging me in talking to you about these riddles. I really love them. I hope you do too now. So I'll try to keep my words about my own pieces brief. The theme that came to me as I was composing these pieces was nature and our humans' relationship with nature. The first piece in my set is about a bird, an entertaining bird, a bird who sings at twilight. Humans are humbled by the joy nature brings to them. My second piece is about a bookworm or moth in its larval stage. You might hear the word moth, but it's referring to the larval stage. Though the worm consumes words, it gains no wisdom from the act. At the end of the day, humanity's most brilliant poets, philosophers, and scientists will return to dust. Their thoughts and ideas will be devoured by nature. My third piece, I'm giving this away a little bit, but I think it'll be more fun this way as you listen. My third piece is about an iceberg, a fierce warrior woman who crushes all who cross her path. She casts a spell on humans. She prophesies that her daughter, water, will one day course over the earth, full of mercy. But what shape will nature's mercy take? Will it be a second Noah's flood, wiping earth clean to begin anew? Or will it be the saving grace we humans need to survive a changing climate? You decide. So I want to thank my good friends, Monica and Bethany, who started the whole thing, and Ben at the piano. Thank you so much for bringing my music to life. I hope you all enjoy. Stille,
Okay. I'm Keith. I wrote the next song cycle that you're going to hear. And I took a bit of a different approach from both Ben and Amy. So first, Amy gave away the answers to her riddles. I tried this last night. I think it worked. I gave some hints, but I didn't give the answers. And I got, I think, just the right ratio of people who got the riddles and those who didn't get them and were sort of scratching their heads. So I'll see if that works for tonight too. And another way that I'm doing it differently from them is that I set modern translations of these riddles. I decided not to use the Old English, but to ask Amy to do a translation. Now, why did I do this? I think one reason is that I wanted to revitalize something from the distant past and make it more accessible to our modern audience. I'm not a historian, but a lot of my recent music is drawn from history. So I wrote an opera about a stagecoach driver in the California Gold Rush, who we understand today to be a trans man. I set a setting of a 1960s essay on the myth of Undine. So I look in the past for these things, and rather than just splat, there's the thing, there we go, I want to find a way to make it relevant to us, and I felt like a modern translation would do that. Another thing is, as Amy mentioned, these riddles don't have answers. It's not given in the original text. So, by translating them, we could come up with our own answer and just sort of tweak it the way we wanted and sort of lead you towards what we were thinking. So that's what we did. And then finally, I just really like the collaborative process. And I feel like, well, I don't think I need to ask if kind of learning a whole language, or at least the grammar and syntax of it, was fun for Amy. I think it was. And so I knew she'd have fun with it, and she would really leave no stone unturned when preparing these translations. Okay, so I'll walk you through each of the songs, giving you a little bit of information, but hopefully not too much. So, movement 1 is about an instrument, and I should mention that all of my songs are tied together with the theme of music. So the answer is either musical instrument or something important in the musical world. Movement 1 is about an instrument, and it's personified by the narrator. And I think maybe the best clue is when the narrator says she has a long curving neck, 2 soft shoulders inside sharp shoulders. So here we're thinking of a curved instrument that has this kind of shape to it and exists inside of a structure that's more angular, perhaps an instrument that's part of a building. I think I'll leave it at that. Movements 2 and 3. I'm going to say even less about these, and I'm just going to bring up this old adage that I give to my students all the time. In class, I say, don't be afraid to say the obvious answer. You're thinking it, like 10 other people are thinking it as well. These instruments that you're going to see on stage, the horn and the harp, have a very extensive history. They go back many, many hundreds of years, further back than a lot of modern instruments. So that's movement 2 and 3. And then finally we get a movement that's more ambiguous. We get something that this riddle has had lots of proposed answers from birds, bugs, more abstract concepts. So this is the one that we kind of took and tweaked our own way. And in my version, we decided that the answer is a collection of small black things that are not musical instruments, but let's just say without them, we would not really be able to enjoy the music that we hear up here today, and they're encountered by all music students. All right, so I will welcome my colleagues, these wonderful performers, Kevin, Curtis, and Lisa, up to the stage, and I'm really excited for you to hear them sing my song.
She's cunningly crafted as a long curving neck, two soft shoulders inside sharp soaring and swinging, soaring and swinging, she I was a warrior charging to battle. I was a warrior charging to battle, charging the enemy in charge of my fate, of my fate, of my fate. Now men cover me in gold and silver wires. I'm wrapped and trapped, bound and wound. I'm wrapped and trapped, bound and wound. Men kiss me, men drag me over land and men wander me on tables. I'm headless, nameless. Though my belly is filled and filled again, men hang me on the wall, they drink and feast. How radiant, wretched, radiant, wretched, wretched, a radiant, wretched relic of their battle glory. A radiant, wretched relic of their battle glory. Soon a warrior will see her breath through me. I'll speak with her. Run, I'll cry, and they'll flee like roaches from the light, like thieves in the dark of night. Run, I'll cry, run, run, I'll cry, run, run, run. A breath carries tiny creatures up and over steep white hills. A breath carries tiny creatures up and over steep white hills. Pitch black, pinky, a traveling choir. Pitch black, pinky, a traveling choir of infinite songs. In fortissimo frenzy, in fortissimo frenzy. Humming on high cliffs, no breath carries tiny creatures, tiny creatures, tiny creatures, carries tiny creatures, carries tiny creatures, carries tiny creatures. They name themselves.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to these musicians and friends for learning and performing our music. I composed the next 3 songs, which feature Exeter riddles number 9, 74, and 53. I will be providing commentary after each performance, which explains the answer to the riddle. This commentary will be very brief, practically feather thin. Long program notes can be frustrating. Some people go a little cuckoo with impatience. If you'd like to try solving each riddle yourself, you can peruse the translations in your program notes while listening. I should say the solutions are relatively modern words. They're not exclusively limited to medieval culture, so it's possible to get these answers. In each of my explanations, I will provide hidden clues for the answer to the next riddle. These clues will be nested deep within my commentary. All right, are you ready? Good luck. Here is Exeter riddle number 9.
Mecontisum dagum Dadne Mecontisum dagum Dadne of Even Father and Mother Ne was me Fluthien Eldor Ininan Ma Fame Canungun Velod me Velum Thechan Eld und Frovede Der Schurbera
cuckoo. I feel like this is a really smart audience. We're just flattered. Female cuckoos lay their eggs in the nests of other bird species. When she does this, she pushes out the other bird's eggs to make room for her own. Her eggs hatch earlier than the eggs of the host. When the cuckoo hatches, it instinctively pushes the remaining eggs out of the nest to eliminate competition for food. The unsuspecting foster parents then care for the cuckoo as if it were their own. Creepy. But the cuckoo's call is very cute. You might describe it even as charming. The call of a cuckoo is also very clear, like a siren. It can be heard over woods and over fields, but you don't normally hear it over waves because cuckoos live on land, not sea. I thought I'd put that out there. Here's Exeter Riddle number 74. In ancient Greek mythology, sirens were part bird, part human creatures with enchanting voices. Did anybody get that one, by the way? Yeah. I thought the one was Harp, but yeah, I didn't know they were part birds when I first read this. Sirens lured sailors to their doom with beautiful songs, leading them to shipwreck on rocky coasts. Special thanks to Carol Brown for providing the Waterphone. Very cool. That was awesome.
I'm so proud of her.
Along with extended techniques on the harp, I used the Waterphone to make this sleepy song feel unsettling. After all, sirens were beautiful, but they were also dangerous. But why am I talking about ancient mythology? I don't want to batter you with facts. I don't want to ram home this concert with a long lecture. No, I would much rather go out with a bang. When you leave through those doors, you should feel like you got what you came for. Music that broke boundaries. Or whatever. Here's Exeter Riddle number 53. Thank you. battering ram. Okay, I feel like you really should have gotten that one. In my introduction, I literally said battering and ram. Thank you all for coming.